So good morning students. Now we are going to start our new lesson of physics, chapter number 5, laws of motion. In this, what we have done now, the first topic name is first law of motion, second law of motion, and third law of motion. We have deducted this year. First law of motion you must revise from your 9th class. Second law and third law. We have deducted this from +1 syllabus. This has been eliminated. So first topic is conservation of momentum. Before we starting this topic, you should be aware of some terms like momentum. What is Newton's second law? Force is equals to mass into acceleration, or force is equals to change in momentum with respect to time. And what is momentum? Momentum is mass into velocity. So these are all concepts of 9th class that you have to remember. Momentum is mass into velocity. So Newton's second law says this: change in momentum, rate of change of momentum is directly proportional to applied force, where F is equals to ma. We have already done why the cricket player catches the ball at a lower height. These all things we have done. Okay. So first we will start from the conservation of momentum. This one going to learn. So what is mean by this conservation of momentum? First of all, you have to give the definition of this conservation of momentum like this. The momentum of, suppose a gun is there, and a suppose gun and a bullet is lying in the gun. They are making a system. A system is there. So if I am saying a system, a system will consist of one or more bodies like this. One body is bullet and one body is gun. So what is meant by conservation of a system? We will say like this: the momentum of a system will remain conserved if no external force is applied on it. Suppose if we are if no external force is applied on this system of gun or bullet, their momentum is going to remain same. Before the firing, momentum will be means there will be some momentum that will be known as initial momentum, and after the firing there will be some momentum which is known as final momentum, and both those momentums will be equal. Momentum of system will remain conserved if no external force acts on it. So like this, the जो मोमेंटम होता है सिस्टम का वो सेम रहता है, सेम मींस कंजर्व रहता है if no external forces acting on it. Means initial momentum will be equal to final momentum. Okay, good. So we have to prove this. Okay. So what we have to prove this, you know the Newton's third law, to every action there is equal and opposite reaction. So for this we have to prove, you can make a form on the video and write down this definition. Suppose you are having a system, there is a system, and system of gun and a bullet. Okay. And gun applies a force F on the bullet. Suppose gun applies, bullet is fired and gun applying a force of F on bullet. Suppose, if we suppose the gun applying force on the bullet, okay, bullet will start moving. Newton's third law says that this bullet will apply the reaction force on the gun in the backward direction. That means bullet will also apply reaction force on gun. if gun is applying F na, what is the reaction force? Minus F. Minus F means same magnitude. Force will be if 100 Newton is applied by the gun on the bullet will also apply 100 Newton on the gun, but in opposite direction. That's why minus sign is, we have this means mention the minus sign. So bullet will apply a reaction force on gun in opposite direction according to Newton's third law. So according to Newton's third law. Okay. So there is a system of gun and a bullet. Gun is applying a force of F on bullet. Bullet will apply reaction force on gun minus F in opposite direction according to Newton's third law. So this is a concept. So you know this means what is the formula of momentum? So how can you find this change in momentum? Okay, change in momentum. We know the change in momentum upon time. This is Newton's second law, na? Is directly is equals to the force applied. So change in momentum is given by F applied into time. F applied into time is change in momentum. Okay. So now we know what is the formula of change in momentum. First of all, we will calculate the change in momentum of gun. Then we will calculate the change in momentum of bullet. Okay. Now calculate the change in momentum of gun. Change in momentum of gun. What is the formula? What is force? Which force is applied on the gun? Minus F. So what is the times? Force means gun apply a force of F on bullet for time delta t. For time you take some time for time delta t. So for time we will take as delta t. Get it as 0.1. Now same way calculate the change in bullet. Change in momentum of bullet. Because the force is acting on the gun also and a bullet also, so their momentum is going to change. So we are calculating their momentum. So what is the force acting on the bullet? Plus F. And for what time it acted? For delta t. Okay. This is the change in momentum of gun. This is a concept of after firing concept. This is after firing. Now ये तो concept है after firing का. Now we will calculate the same concept of before firing concept. So before firing, what is the total momentum of the gun plus bullets? Before firing, so total momentum is equals to momentum of gun before firing plus momentum of bullet before firing. So this will be equals to the total momentum. So momentum of gun before firing plus momentum of bullet, because there are only two means objects in the system. One is gun and one is bullet. So now you know what is the formula of momentum. Now we will not do this momentum formula. Momentum is equals to, this is basic formula. mass into velocity. Okay. So momentum of gun will also be equal to mass of gun into velocity of gun plus momentum formula is mass into velocity, mass of bullet, and this is mass of velocity of bullet. So before firing, what is the velocity of gun and what is the velocity of bullet? Bullet is also at the rest position and gun is also at the rest position. So before firing, it is 0 and this is also 0. What will this value become? 0 plus what will this value become? 0. So 0 plus 0 is 0. So what is the initial total initial momentum? This is total initial momentum. So initial momentum is 0. Initial momentum is 0. Okay. So make this as 3. If we have calculated initial momentum, it is 0. Now we will calculate the final momentum. So add the momentum of gun after firing, add the momentum of bullet after firing, add both. So momentum after firing is equals to add this momentum and add this momentum. What is this momentum? F delta t minus F delta t. So what it will become? 0. So we have obtained the final momentum is also 0. So after firing momentum is also 0. Before firing momentum is also 0. Okay. From 3 and 4. Law of conservation of momentum is 2. So this is our first topic. Conservation of momentum. So note down this thing. Now we will be coming on to next topic, second topic of today, that is equilibrium of forces. Equilibrium of forces. You can make a pause of the video and then you can note down the concepts. So concept is equilibrium of forces. What is this equilibrium of forces? Okay, suppose a body is there, stored. Okay, this is the body, and one force is acting in this direction, stored. Okay, F1 force is acting on this body in this direction. Okay, and F2 force is acting on this direction, stored. So where is the resultant? I think resultant will be here. So what will be this? This is the resultant force. So if we calculate the resultant force, okay, suppose its value is 100 Newton. So what is the resultant equals to F1 force plus F2 force vector. Okay. And if a F3 force is acting on this body in this direction, F3, it is also of 100 Newton. Okay. So what will we get? 100 Newton in this direction and 100 Newton in this direction. So resultant force will be, so net force on this object will be 0 because 100 Newton is in this direction and 100 Newton is in this direction. So overall net force is going to 0 because one is pulling in this direction, one is pulling in this direction. It will not move. So net force on objects is 0. F1 plus F2 plus F3, they will be 0 and the object will be at rest. Object will not move. So object will not have any kind of motion, and this kind of motion is known as linear motion. So no linear motion. Okay. So this is known as equilibrium of forces. If more than one type of forces are acting on a body, and body is not moving, that means the net force on that body is zero. And those forces are in equilibrium. So condition for this equilibrium of forces should be all the forces should be in same plane, like they are in xy plane. All the forces should be in same plane. If more than one type of forces are acting on the body and body is not moving, that means the net force on the body is zero. And those forces are in equilibrium. And the condition for the equilibrium of forces is that the forces should be in same plane. So this is second topic. This is also done equilibrium of forces. This has been done. Third topic. We are moving on to the third topic. And write down the name of third topic. Its name is friction. Friction. So the third topic is friction. Okay. Suppose this is object number 1 and it is object number 2. When two objects are in contact with each other and this second object wants to move or has intention of motion or it is moving or it has intention of motion, then a opposing force will act between the surface of these two objects. That is known as frictional force. Suppose two objects are there. This is first is my hand and second is this marker. And what is there? It is now moving. So opposing force will act on the surface between these two objects. That opposing force is known as frictional force. Second concept is this: if it has intention of motion, intention means ये चाहता है move करना, move करने का चाहता है move करना, then also opposing force will act at the surface between these two objects. That is known as frictional force. When an object is placed over another object, and it is moving, तो ये मूव कर रहा हो और इट हैज इंटेंशन ऑफ मोशन, यहाँ इसका एक इंटेंशन हो मूव करने का, जहाँ और it has the intention of motion, then a opposing force acts, act between the surfaces. Act between the surface. Then opposing force acts. Then opposing force acts along the surface. So that is known as friction. which is known as friction. So this is the definition of a friction. Means we have read till now like this: opposing force, which means a force which opposes the motion is known as frictional force. Same way that is here. If this object is moving, then also opposing force will act along the surface. Surface means this is along the surface, and its direction will be equal to opposite of applied force. If applied force is in this direction, frictional force will be in this direction. Direction of frictional force will be opposite to applied force. Applied force. Okay. So this is the concept. So now we are moving on to our this means very this topic only. Okay. What is the reason of friction? How friction comes into means action? How friction originates? How it takes birth? It is an electrical force. You must remember. Okay. Suppose there is a means object number one and there is a object number two. Okay. That means object number one will have also atoms. This is the atom of object number one. Suppose this is nucleus. These are the electrons. Suppose this is atom of this. There will be so many atoms of this first object, and this is the atom of this second object. Okay. When you apply the force on this first object, you will apply the force here. What will happen? First object will have rubbing on second object. That means first object will get rubbed over the surface of second object. First object will get rubbed over surface of second object. So what will happen? When rubbing will be there, some of the electrons of this atom will get shifted here. When rubbing will take place. And if electrons will get shifted here, negative charge on atom number 2 increases, so it will become negative charge. And if some of the negative charge is lost by atom number 1, it will become a positive charge. So atom number 1 will become a positive charge and atom number 2 will become a negative charge due to rubbing. So both the atoms will get charged. So both the atoms of objects will get charged. Okay. And if this is a positive, means this is a positive charge and this is a negative charge, and they will attract each other with a force of attraction, and that is known as electrostatic force of attraction. So this is the cause of friction. This force of attraction, it do not allow this first object to move easily on object number 2, and this is the friction. Okay. So both the atoms of objects will get charged, and a strong electrostatic force of attraction, the positive charges, they will start attracting the negative charge, and this type of force is known as strong electrostatic force of attraction. Will result into friction. Okay. So this is the how friction comes into action. Okay. Make a note of this concept. So what we have discussed, you know, means one means atoms of means object one, they will gain the different charge, and atoms of object 2 they will gain the different charge, and due to different charges of the atoms they will start they will have a force of attraction, and due to this friction will come into play. So this is the reason of friction. So next topic, note down next topic, types of friction. So there are how many types of friction are there? This is our next topic. So types of friction. So make it a heading of friction and we will note down its types. So one friction is known as static friction. Okay. And another type of friction is known as kinetic friction. Okay. And this static friction has two properties, two features. One is auto-adjusting. I will explain that. And it's having its another type is also there, that is limiting friction. Okay. And this kinetic friction is having again two concepts. One is rolling friction. This is a subtype of kinetic friction, rolling friction, and it is a sliding friction. So note down this means a table. So we will discuss this now. It's a static and kinetic, auto-adjusting, limiting friction, kinetic friction, rolling friction. Now we will talk about first static friction. Note down the heading. Static friction. Okay. Visualize this thing. Suppose there is a table. Okay. It's a table, and book is lying on the table. Suppose you applied a force. You applied a force. Suppose you applied a force of 1 Newton. Book doesn't move. Book is not moving. Why? Because some kind of friction is there, and that friction is known as static friction. Static means body is at rest. Body is at a rest. So that type of friction is known as a. This friction is opposing the motion. You are applying a force of 1 Newton, and according to you, body should move because you are applying force. But this force means it is not making this body to move in this direction. Why? Because opposing force is acting on this book. You are applying force in this direction and some opposing force is acting in this direction. So this is frictional force. This is frictional force, Fr. So book is not moving. So the kind of friction which is acting on the bodies which are at rest and they have intention to move and they have intention to move. Now we have intention to move this book, that means, but it is still at rest. That type of friction is known as static friction. Static friction is also a force of friction which oppose the motion, means it is not allowing book to move. It is opposing the motion. mechanism opposing the motion. Okay, this is first concept. Now you need to expand the case. Okay, suppose now you have applied 2 Newton. Book is still not moving. That means its value is approximately, book is not moving. That means you are applying 1 Newton here. What is the value of this force? If book is not moving, it should be 1 Newton. Then only net force will be 0. That means frictional force is also 1 Newton. You apply 2 Newton now on the book. The book is still not moving. That means how much amount of frictional force is acting on this? 2 Newton. That's why book is not moving. Net force is 0 ना, 2 Newton is this, 2 Newton is this, तभी तो net force, तभी तो वो मूव नहीं करेंगे. अगर 2 न्यूटन इधर को हो रहा है, उधर से 2 न्यूटन लगेगा तभी नहीं मूव करेंगे. अगर उधर से 5 न्यूटन लगा तो वो किधर को मूव कर लेंगे. You have applied 3 Newton. Then also the book doesn't move. Okay. So what is this? This static friction is adjusting its value according to applied force. So it is a auto adjusting force. Static friction is adjusting its value. ये होता है, आप किसी भारी चीज को मतलब पुश करने की कोशिश करो, वो मूव नहीं करती क्योंकि उस पर स्टैटिक फ्रिक्शन एक्ट कर रही होती है. आप अपनी फोर्स बढ़ाते जाते हो, बढ़ाते जाते हो, बढ़ाते फिर भी नहीं मूव करते. जब आप फोर्स बढ़ा रहे होते हो तो स्टैटिक फ्रिक्शन भी अपनी वैल्यू को बढ़ा रही होती है. तो ये एक ऑटो एडजस्टिंग फोर्स होती है. दिस एडजस्टिंग इट्स वैल्यू according to applied force. So it is a auto adjusting force. Okay. So this is done. I have told you the static friction is a auto adjusting force. So this is done. So you go on increasing the force. Suppose you have applied 5 Newton now. Okay. Now the book is at the point of moving. बिल्कुल उस point पे अब मोशन हो जाएगा बस. पर अभी हुआ नहीं है. इसमें तो फ्रिक्शनल फोर्स भी क्या है? फ्रिक्शनल फोर्स इज आल्सो 5 न्यूटन. तो ये क्या है? मैक्सिमम वैल्यू होगी है इसकी स्टैटिक फ्रिक्शन. बस इसके बाद तो मोशन हो जाना है. स्टैटिक फ्रिक्शन की मैक्सिमम वैल्यू कहाँ तक गई? 5 न्यूटन तक गई. मोशन के वक्त स्टैटिक फ्रिक्शन नहीं होती. रेस्ट वाली बॉडी पे जो फ्रिक्शन एक्ट कर रही है दैट इज स्टैटिक फ्रिक्शन. So 5 Newton. Maximum value of static friction अगर हम 5.1 न्यूटन भी लगा दूंगा बुक मूव हो जाएगी 5 न्यूटन तक नहीं. तो ये क्या है? दिस इज द मैक्सिमम वैल्यू ऑफ स्टैटिक फ्रिक्शन जो किसको अपोज कर रही है? मोशन को अपोज कर रही है. ओके. तो अगर इसके बियॉन्ड ये स्टैटिक फ्रिक्शन से ज़्यादा मैंने अप्लाइड फोर्स कर दी तो माई बॉडी विल स्टार्ट मूविंग. ठीक है. दिस वैल्यू ऑफ स्टैटिक फ्रिक्शन इज नोन एज लिमिटिंग फ्रिक्शन. स्टैटिक फ्रिक्शन की भी एक लिमिट होती है. ऐसे नहीं भी आप 4 न्यूटन कर दो तो 4 लेके 5 न्यूटन कर दो 5 न्यूटन. ऐसे तो फिर किसी बॉडी ने इस दुनिया में मूव ही नहीं करना था. इसकी भी एक लिमिट होती है. लिमिट क्या? इसकी एक मैक्सिमम वैल्यू होती है जिस तक ये मोशन को अपोज करती है. उसके बाद ये मोशन को अपोज नहीं कर पाती. अगर अप्लाइड फ्रिक्शन इज मैक्सिमम वैल्यू, अगर हमारी अप्लाइड फोर्स इस मैक्सिमम वैल्यू ऑफ स्टैटिक फ्रिक्शन से ज़्यादा हो जाए तो मोशन हो जाएगा. और इस मैक्सिमम वैल्यू ऑफ स्टैटिक फ्रिक्शन को साइंस ने नाम दिया है दैट इज नोन एज लिमिटिंग फ्रिक्शन. लिमिटिंग फ्रिक्शन. सो हमारा अप्लाइड वी आर मींस इंक्रीजिंग द अप्लाइड फोर्स. ओके. मींस वी आर increasing the applied force. So a maximum value of static friction will also reach. So maximum value of static friction will reach will be, that is, the maximum value of static friction will be, which is known as limiting friction. And in next topic you will write like this. Next point, if applied force is increased beyond limiting friction, what you will do? If applied force increases limiting friction, body will move. Okay, like this. So if applied force is increases, means more than limiting friction. So if you want to draw the graph, now you can draw a graph like this. So if this is applied force, okay, and this is frictional force. Applied force is 1, 2, 3, 4. Frictional force is 1, 2, 3, 4. When you are up, means applied force is increasing now, frictional force is also increasing. So what is this? This is a graph of static friction. जैसे जैसे applied force बढ़ रही है, frictional force is also increasing. This is a graph of static friction. और एक maximum value आएगी ऐसे बढ़ते बढ़ते. And that maximum value is known as जो maximum value होगी, इसके बाद तो मुझे start, that is known as limiting friction. F limiting. You can take it as F limiting. So this is the maximum value of F limiting friction. So you have means two type of frictions have been got into your mind: a static friction and a limiting friction. Okay. So first of all, we will do some more study about this limiting friction. Okay. For this, come to these points now. So the book is lying on the table. Okay. A book is lying on the table, and you know this book is having a weight of mg. We are studied in 9th class. So if m is the mass of book, what is weight? Weight is equal to mg, which is acting in the downward direction. So if this book is lying on this table, okay. So book is applying a force. Weight is a kind of force, na? Weight is a kind of force. So this book is applying a force of mg in the downward direction. But the book is not moving through the table. ये book table के अंदर से नहीं जा रही है. क्यों? क्योंकि एक book is applying force in this direction according to Newton's third law. Means an equal and opposite force will be applied by the table on the book in the upward direction. और वो इक्वल एंड ऑपोजिट फोर्स को कहते हैं साइंस में नॉर्मल रिएक्शन. नॉर्मल होता है 90 डिग्री. इट्स अ रिएक्शन फोर्स, नॉर्मल रिएक्शन, एंड इट्स वैल्यू आल्सो इक्वल्स टू mg. So book is lying on the table. It is applying a force of mg in the downward direction. According to Newton's third law, table will apply equal and opposite force on the book in the upward direction, and that is known as normal direction is equals to mg. Okay. Okay, and you know that if mg is more ना, अगर चीज भारी है तो फ्रिक्शनल फोर्स भी क्या होने वाली है? ज़्यादा होने वाली है. जो लिमिटिंग मीन्स अगर ये नॉर्मल रिएक्शन मीन्स ज़्यादा है या वेट ज़्यादा है, तो जो वैल्यू होने वाली है लिमिटिंग फ्रिक्शन की वो भी ज़्यादा होने वाली है. आई एम टेलिंग अबाउट द फीचर्स ऑफ लिमिटिंग फ्रिक्शन. फीचर्स ऑफ लिमिटिंग फ्रिक्शन फर्स्ट वैल्यू ऑफ, मान लो यहाँ पे एक बुक है, अगर अलमीरा होती तो अलमीरा का वेट क्या होना था, बहुत ज़्यादा होना था। अगर वेट ज़्यादा होगी तो हमें कितनी फोर्स लगानी पड़ेगी, वी हैव टू अप्लाई मोर फोर्स। मोर फोर्स मतलब उसको पुश करने के लिए, तो उसकी लिमिटिंग फ्रिक्शन की वैल्यू क्या है, बहुत ज़्यादा है। अगर बुक है तो उसको हम आराम से कर सकते हैं, उसकी लिमिटिंग फ्रिक्शन की वैल्यू कम है। ठीक है, तो फर्स्ट कंसेप्ट इज इट डिपेंड्स ऑन नॉर्मल रिएक्शन। अगर नॉर्मल रिएक्शन की वैल्यू कम है तो लिमिटिंग फ्रिक्शन भी कम है, नॉर्मल रिएक्शन की वैल्यू ज़्यादा है तो लिमिटिंग फ्रिक्शन भी ज़्यादा है। It depends on normal reaction. And normal reaction depends on the weight. If weight is more, normal reaction will be more. Weight is less, normal reaction will be less. So second concept of this limiting friction is it depends on the roughness of a surface. If this is suppose a smooth surface, here friction will be less, and on a rough surface friction will be more. Rough surface पे limiting friction की वैल्यू ज़्यादा होगी, हमें ज़्यादा फोर्स लगानी पड़ेगी बॉडी को मूव करने के लिए रफ सरफेस पे, और अगर हम स्मूथ सरफेस पे करें तो हमें कम फोर्स लगानी पड़ेगी। ठीक है, इट डिपेंड्स ऑन द रफनेस ऑफ सरफेस। So there are two features of limiting friction. It depends on normal reaction and it depends on the roughness of surface. Now you know na what is this normal reaction, because this term is going to come in the incoming means concepts. Okay. So frictional force is depending on the normal reaction. Make this as a thing. This frictional force it depends on the normal reaction, and normal reaction is represented by big R. R is equal to mg. Okay. Frictional force is directly proportional to normal reaction. If normal reaction will be more, frictional force will be more. Normal reaction is less, frictional force will be less. The normal reaction of book is less, frictional force is less. The normal reaction of a heavy almirah is more, so frictional force is more. Now you can means अब हम इस directly proportional को हटाएंगे और एक constant लग जाता है, that is mu into R. What is this mu? This mu is known as coefficient of friction. Mu is known as coefficient of friction. So what is the value of this mu? Mu value is frictional force upon this. अगर फ्रिक्शन ज़्यादा है तो mu भी ज़्यादा होगा, जहाँ mu ज़्यादा है तो फ्रिक्शन भी ज़्यादा होगी। mu किसका होता है, सरफेस का होता है। ठीक है, अगर सरफेस बहुत ज़्यादा रफ है तो उसका mu बहुत ज़्यादा होगा और उसमें फ्रिक्शन भी ज़्यादा होगी। एक सरफेस अगर बहुत ज़्यादा स्मूथ है उसका mu भी कम होगा और फ्रिक्शन भी कम होगी। mu is known as coefficient of friction. Okay, so this is a friction, this is normal reaction. So you must remember this concept is, इसी को ध्यान बदल रहा हूँ, अगर फ्रिक्शनल फोर्स लिमिटिंग फ्रिक्शन, लिमिटिंग, दिस इज नॉर्मल फ्रिक्शन, फ्रिक्शन एक टाइप का लिमिटिंग भी है, तो वो किसके इक्वल होगा, वो भी किसके इक्वल होगा, नॉर्मल रिएक्शन। अब लिमिटिंग फ्रिक्शन ऐसे ही रहेगा, इनडायरेक्टली प्रोपोर्शनल वी विल राइट एज म्यू, तो म्यू भी किसका होगा, लिमिटिंग होगा, म्यू लिमिटिंग, म्यू भी हमारा क्या होगा, लिमिटिंग होगा। F limiting is equal to mu limiting into R. So this is the case. Okay. So this is a concept. We are use this as a concept in FL. So now F limiting is equal to mu limiting into normal reaction. This is very important concept. Remember this. FL is equal to mu into R. So limiting friction is equals to coefficient of limiting friction. So this is the coefficient of limiting friction into normal reaction. So now I think limiting friction is done. Now we are coming on to the static friction. So now next topic is kinetic friction. Okay. Do you know there is a playground and football is moving on this? Suppose there is a ball and it is moving on the playground. Okay, it is in motion. After some time, it will stop. Why it is stopping? Its velocity becomes zero because some kind of friction is acting on it, and that kind of friction is known as kinetic friction. Okay, kinetic friction. What is this? Friction which is acting on moving body. It is known as the kinetic friction. It's a friction which acts on moving body. Okay, this is the one. I told you it is of two types. One is rolling and one is sliding. So we know that friction is directly proportional to normal direction. If we eliminate this directly proportional, it will be replaced by is equals to mu r into force of friction. If this force is kinetic, if F kinetic, it will become U kinetic. Okay, like this. And it is a coefficient of kinetic friction. Okay. It's a coefficient of kinetic friction. And suppose that a car, a car is standing on a means ground and we want to move it. तो कार पे कौन सी फ्रिक्शन लगेगी वो भी हम करते हैं डिस्कस. ये याद रखो. We have done what is this? F limiting is equals to mu limiting into r, and F static is equals to mu static into r, and F kinetic is equals to mu kinetic into r. This is three concepts. Okay. And it is found that भी जो काइनेटिक का कोफिशिएंट होता है, काइनेटिक फ्रिक्शन में जो कोफिशिएंट काम कर रहा होता है वो बहुत थोड़ा होता है एज कंपेयर टू स्टैटिक फ्रिक्शन. अगर एक बार मान लो एक बार मूव करने के लिए बॉडी को बहुत ज़्यादा फोर्स चाहिए होती है, पर जब वो मोशन में आ जाती है उसको मोशन में रखने के लिए तो फिर थोड़ी फोर्स ही चाहिए. थोड़ी फोर्स तभी होगी अगर कोफिशिएंट ऑफ काइनेटिक फ्रिक्शन कम होगा. किससे कम होगा? स्टैटिक से. जब हम शुरू में बॉडी को मोशन में लाने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं तो हम बहुत ज़्यादा फोर्स लगा रहे हैं. क्यों? क्योंकि ये ज़्यादा है, उसका म्यू स्टैटिक ज़्यादा है. तो ये कंसेप्ट है कि म्यू स्टैटिक इज मोर एज कंपेयर टू म्यू काइनेटिक. Means less friction will act if the body is moving, but if body is at rest, more friction will act if you want to make that body into motion. So next concept is one is there is a box. Okay, it's A term B side, C side, and D side. If you are pushing the box, okay, and the box goes here. Its sides are not changing. A lies here, B lies here, C lies here, D here. Then the box is sliding. And the friction which acts when the one body is sliding over the another body, that type of friction is known as sliding friction. Okay, when one body is sliding over the another body, then the kind of friction acting between the surface of those two bodies is known as sliding friction. And if same box is there, so this is side A, B, C, D, and you are rolling this box, what will happen when you roll? Okay, B will go here, A will go here, D will go here, C will. This is a rolling concept. Football is rolling on the ground. Okay, car is rolling on the ground. When one object is rolling on the another object, and the kind of friction acting between their surfaces is known as rolling friction. So you must be aware of this concept. What is this sliding friction and what is this rolling friction? Okay, this is very much important. And rolling friction is very much less as compared to sliding friction. Okay, and this sliding friction is very much less as compared to static friction. You must remember this. भाई coefficient of rolling friction जो होता है, coefficient of rolling friction, it is very less than sliding friction. We sliding and sliding का coefficient किससे less होता है? Static से. तो अभी हमने किया काइनेटिक का कम होता है, तो ये भी काइनेटिक है, ये भी काइनेटिक है. रोलिंग का कोफिशिएंट ऑफ रोलिंग फ्रिक्शन इज वेरी लेस एज कंपेयर टू कोफिशिएंट ऑफ स्लाइडिंग फ्रिक्शन, एंड दिस स्लाइड कोफिशिएंट ऑफ स्लाइडिंग फ्रिक्शन इज लेस देन कोफिशिएंट ऑफ स्टैटिक फ्रिक्शन. चलती हुई चीज पे फ्रिक्शन कम लगेगी एज कंपेयर टू इफ द बॉडी इज एट रेस्ट. दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. तो इसका आंसर आप क्या दे सकते हो? एक कार को रोल करना क्या है? आसान है. कार को हम इजीली पुश कर सकते हैं. खड़ी कार को इतने वेट की होती है, क्यों? क्योंकि उसका जो न्यू रोलिंग होता है वो बहुत कम होता है. जो ग्राउंड उसको न्यू रोल कर रहा होता है ना, तो वो बहुत कम हो रहा है. इट इज इजी टू पुश दी कार. तो इसी की वजह से क्या होता है? बहुत इट्स वेरी लेस ना, इट इज वेरी इजी टू पुश हैवी कार बिकॉज क्यों? जो कोफिशिएंट होता है ना रोलिंग फ्रिक्शन इज वेरी लेस. ये फैक्ट है, इस फैक्ट का यूज यहाँ हो जाए. तो देखिए और अगर कोफिशिएंट थोड़ा होगा रोलिंग फ्रिक्शन का, ओके, और जो फिर फोर्स लग रही होगी फ्रिक्शन की रोलिंग की, वो क्या होगी? थोड़ी होगी. वो भी क्या होगी? थोड़ी. इफ रोलिंग फ्रिक्शन इज लेस we can easily use the car. Friction is equal to coefficient into normal direction. Normal direction of car. This is mg of car. This is okay. Mass is very heavy, but this is less. That's why the friction is less. So next concept. So next concept is we are seeing these ball bearings concept. There are ball bearings. There is one game also. You are there is ball there, there is ball there, there is ball there, and there is ball there. Bearings. They are known as bearings. Okay, they are used in tractor also. They are used in car also. And there is one surface, and there is another surface. And balls are placed between these two surfaces. Balls are there placed between these two surfaces. What kind of friction is being offered by this surface and this surface? A rolling friction is acting in ball bearings. And if friction is less, it is easy to move the load. Okay. Rolling friction is very less. So we can. So what is this? It is easy. So these bars. So these bar bearings are used in heavy machines to move them on road. So these ball bearings are used. It is also used in trucks where also heavy loads. Then this is the concept. So ball bearings, they employ the concept of rolling friction. Okay. Third concept. So third concept is there is a engine of a railway. Okay. It is applying force in this direction, applied force. Okay. And what are there? There are bogie number 1, and there is bogie number 2 force. Okay. It is also maritime. Tires. Okay. There is a track. That track. What is this track? So track is offering the bogies a rolling friction. It's a rolling friction. Okay. Track is offering a rolling friction to these bodies. We know, हमें पता है mu rolling is less because rolling friction कम क्यों होगी? क्योंकि mu rolling is very less and it will be very easy for the engine to move such a heavy load. So this is all got done today. So this is the basis of this. We have made a foundation of this laws of motion. We have done conservation of momentum, equilibrium of forces. Then we have done the types of friction, static friction. It's a auto adjusting force. Then we have done the concept of limiting friction. Okay, and then we have done the concept of this. I think kinetic friction. But you must aware of one concept is remaining. So I'm again coming on to this concept. I'm making a diagram of this. This is friction, okay. This is applied force. We applied force is increasing like this 1, 2, 3, 4, force 5 is the maximum level. Okay, this also increasing like this, force like this. Okay, and this is the limiting friction. Okay, and then after this the body will start the motion. You know, this is the value of static friction. This is static friction graph. As applied force is increasing, friction is increasing. This is static friction. This is lifting friction. After this, the body will come into motion. What kind of friction will act on the body? Kinetic friction. So this kinetic friction will be less. Body will kinetic friction. That means after that, body will after the limiting, that means when we apply force more than this limiting friction, our body will come into motion, and that at that time kinetic friction will act on our body, and the value of kinetic friction is less as compared to this limiting friction. Okay. So this is the graph. The बढ़ती है एक मैक्सिमम हो जाती है फिर कम हो जाती है. So this is the concept of this concept. So this is static friction concept, auto adjusting, limiting friction, then kinetic friction. And we have already done that with mu rolling is very less than mu sliding, and mu sliding is very less than mu standing. So this is all that. Okay. So hope you enjoyed this lecture. We now have ending the lecture. Thank you.